Shalom and welcome to another installment of Apostles of GMS, giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Today's topic is going to be entitled Biblical Prophecies and Breakdowns. And the title pretty much says it all. Now, before I let these brothers go into what they're going into, I wanted to cover Revelation, the 17th chapter, because someone had put it in the one of the videos. They asked, and if I can find his name, I'll bring it up. I'll bring up the actual question and so forth. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see that same?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go through it because the brother asked. So, we'll go through the whole breakdown. Okay. But we don't have to do it right now, but we can do it, in the midst of the show. All right. So with that, go ahead.
All right. So basically, that's, the time that we're living in now is all based upon prophecy, and not just any prophecy, biblical prophecies. Because when you read the scriptures, the scriptures speak of the Lord and his angels showing prophets and men of the Lord certain visions and certain similitudes, that represented something in the future, and what the prophets did back then was they would actually see the vision and explain it in terms that they had during their time, and then the terms that they had in their time, when you translate them now, you don't really get the full gist of it because you have to understand the language that was going on back then,
That's how we know the mark of the beast is the chip. Because, see, the reason why knuckleheads like Nate and Johanna can't see it, number one, they sold out. And number two, if they didn't sell out, they never had it broken down to them at the main school. Now, they saying, talking this crap that I got it from Alex Jones. I was teaching about the mark of the beast long before Alex Jones came on the scene. So, come back with something else, all right?
That's right. All right. So that's how like for instance today you have certain terms that Jake uses today that even amongst the other nations they don't understand when Jake speaks. This hip talk as they call it. So when you go back into the scriptures and you read about these things, you're thinking it's talking about a millstone or it's talking about a scorpion, or a lion, stuff like that. But it's really a reference to. It could be a reference to the missiles. It could be a reference to the microchip. It could be a reference to a myriad of things, pertaining to that particular prophecy. Now this is Isaiah chapter 42 verse 9. It says, "Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them." So the Lord said that there are former things that are come to pass. What did he mean by that? Well, what the Most High meant by that was that there were certain things that he spoke of that were going to take place that happened. Like he spoke about the flood. He had Noah prophesying about the flood. And what happened? The flood eventually happened. You had prophets that, like Jeremiah prophesied about the Babylonians coming and destroying the temple and bringing Jerusalem under subjection under them for 70 years. And that actually took place. You had certain other prophecies that took place back then with different empires coming in succession one of another. And then those things came to pass. You had prophets that prophesied against false prophets, that prophesied against certain kings, that prophesied about the division of the nation of Israel into two kingdoms, with Rehoboam and Jeroboam, and those things actually happened. And now you have things that are prophesied in this time, or that was prophesied back then, that pertain to this time now. Such as, I'll give you one prophecy. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood." And that's pretty much self-explanatory, meaning that back then when warriors would go to battle, they were on the field, and they had swords and spears and shields. And what they would do is they would go out there, you know, and with a war cry, you know, and fight against each other, cutting limbs off, cutting heads off, blood everywhere, you know, so their garments will be rolled in blood, right? And then, but it says, but this, or this particular war, or this particular battle, shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Now, what is that particular battle speaking of? Speaking about the battle of the end, World War III, the nuclear destruction, the fire, or the lake of fire that is spoken of in the book of Revelations and others, book of Revelation and other scriptures. You know, so that's a future prophecy of things that are to come to pass. So that's what the Lord said, former things I told you of, and they came to pass, and new things do I declare unto you. And these new things that the Lord declared to us, we're living them right now.
This is Joel 2 and 3. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth.
You can start at the first verse.
Okay, Joel 2 and 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain.
Right, because the Most High wants the prophets to speak mainly to Israel and to warn them, those that are a part of the elect and those that are not part of the elect, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, and the other nations. Because this is a message to everybody, so that everybody can see what's happening, what's going on. So that when the time comes and these things start happening, the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, they can get the credit for it. And then it'll be known that a prophet has been among you. Go ahead.
Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble.
Right, let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. See, the problem right now with, you know, guys that call themselves Israelites is they don't have the fear of the Lord. They're not trembling at the word of the Lord. That's why you got guys like Nate and Bubble Eye Blackfish and General Yohana, you know, speaking perverse things, breaking the scriptures down wrong.
They don't consider what they're doing, man. We check out everything. We don't just make a statement. You know, we just don't come out of the blue and make a statement. We check out everything. So when somebody says, you made this statement? And then we say, yeah, we'll stick by the statement. Like I told that big overgrown asshole, Baloo, I made a statement. I said, dealing with the Amos 9, was it Amos 9 and 12, Acts 15. And I said, that's talking about lands. So it kind of messed him up, you know. And I put it there for a stumbling block because I know he can't figure it out. So he's bugging out right now. He said, I'm getting worse and worse. I said, well, address it, man. Deal with it. Okay? And now stick with what I say. It's talking about lands. It's talking about the land of Edom and these lands of these other heathens. That's what it's talking about that we're going to possess. But there's nothing deep about you, man.
That's right. And, you know, and you're another one. You don't have the fear of the Lord.
I told him, I said, if you go out next year, winter 15, 16, or 2015, 16, I'll break it down to you. So, and I know you ain't never going to get the breakdown. Because I know you ain't going out. You ain't going out today, my man. You know? And if you do, you go out for an hour and a half and take 15 minutes of it and say part 12.
You know, I don't understand why. Well, I do understand with Baloo. He's a big lummox. But look, part of the prophecy, because we're dealing with prophecies, is we're gonna not only we're gonna own Esau as slaves and all the other nations. We're gonna, you know, in the case of Esau, we're gonna have his land. He ain't gonna need it because first of all, after 1,000 years, he's gonna be wiped off the face of the earth. All right, and land doesn't go to waste, man. All right. This is the book of Psalms 105 and 44. Well, let me start at 43. And he brought forth his people with joy, which the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is about to do, beginning with the elect. And boy, is it going to be joy when you get the hell out of here, man. You know. And his chosen with gladness. We're going to be joyful and we're going to be glad. And gave them the lands of the heathen. And they inherited the labor of the people. So the land of Esau is going to be given to us. As a matter of fact, when you read Daniel 7 and 18, it says the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. Part of the kingdom is having their lands.
That's right.
having their possessions.
Yep.
Okay? So there's a scripture, and gave them the lands of the heathen.
That's right.
And they inherited the of the people, that they might observe his statutes and keep his laws. And that's when we're going to keep the law and the statutes, when we're in the kingdom.
Con.
Right now, the scriptures say we're just rehearsing the righteous acts.
Con.
But we can't keep it perfectly. And we cannot be justified by the law.
That's right.
Because for you to be justified by the law, you have to keep every last law. And Nate's talking all this stuff about the law. He doesn't keep the law. There's pictures of Nate with that crispy beard, that crispy sideburns, you know. Look like a laser was used to cut that shit, you know.
Damn.
And he's jumping up talking about the law. Hey, Nate, man, you're the one that's crumbling. A guy like Nate, he's crumbling, man. That's why in that video out in Jamaica, he pulled that rape card so quick. Because he was losing to those the Jamaican brothers. You know, they had them on the ropes. So Nate, being the Cheshire cat that he is, he pulled that rape card out and worked on the emotions of the people.
Well, he would know that rape is in the scripture.
Rape is lawful.
But there's nothing deep about that
There's
guy.
nothing deep. Well,
you know?
I got to echo what
And you know what I noticed? A lot of Levites get with that guy. But now I see why, because a lot of Levites are into zombieism, man.
Well, he's the king of the zombies. You know, yeah, absolutely, brother. Oh, okay, yeah, he's the king of the zombies. You go.
We wouldn't even think about Nate, and all of a sudden Nate comes up.
He comes up, man. And Nate, yo, man, you a piece of shit. Yeah, man, first of all, you talking about the law. We were talking about this in the house the other day. Me, I believe this brother, a few other brothers. You, okay, well, the beard thing, you guys with the lineups, that's one thing. That's just one thing. Number one, man, the clothes you wearing is not lawful. That's number one. You wearing a T-shirt, you wearing a button-up shirt, whatever the hell you wearing, it's not, the fabrics are all mixed, man. Right. According to the law, you're not supposed to wear mixed fabrics. That's one thing. So you in violation of the law, right? All of us are in violation of the law right there. The clothes we wearing got all kind of mixed fabrics, man. Number two, I can go down the line, man. The woman you with, was she a virgin when you met her? If she wasn't, then you are guilty.
Well, I think they met as I think
okay.
Virgin.
Oh, okay. So you slide on that one. If she was a virgin, so that means that's your woman.
But she lives with him when she's on her.
But she lives with you when she's on her moon cycle. So you in violation of that law.
He might have another house.
Yeah, he got money.
He got all that money, brother.
Yeah,
he got
all
a
that
mansion
money. Yep.
and a yacht.
But you know what the scriptures say? If you offending one, you offending all. So just the fact that the clothes you wearing is in violation of the law. So even if you, with the woman thing, okay, if you pass on that, the bed thing, you fail on that. Okay, what else? The Passover, man. When you keep the Passover, you're supposed to have the whole lamb or goat roasted with the pertinence thereof in. It's supposed to be of a year.
Yep, year old. Yep.
Unblemished.
A male.
You ain't keeping the Sabbath, right?
You ain't keeping the Sabbath, right? We know that. And you sure as hell ain't keeping the Passover, right? Because we seen your Passover. The Bible says the Passover is a solemn assembly. You got a rap concert going on, man.
I ain't never been a weak Jew. Hey, you guys are tripped, man.
Yeah, man.
And then the Sabbath thing, Friday, sundown, to Saturday, sundown, you say that's the law, right? Now that the word Friday is not in the scriptures, neither is the word Saturday in the scriptures. And if you want to get technical, if you live on a boat and you're between two sides of the international date line, all you got to do is when the Sabbath comes in, all you got to do is go to the other side of the international date line, and then it'll be like Saturday night, you know? And then the next day you can go back and you can just time it, and you never have to keep the Sabbath. And according to you would be under the law. So how do you get around that one, Negro? Huh? How do you get around that one? How do you get around the international date line? Because you bringing that shit up about the mark of the beast. Because you know, now you niggas know that the mark of the beast is real, but now you're using the left hand and the right hand. Well, guess what, nigga? I'm using the international date line. Can you live on the boat and cross from one side of the international date line to the other side and actually not have to keep the Sabbath? Because according to you clowns, it's Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Now we're gonna keep throwing it at you, man. I'm gonna go on your comment board. I'm gonna make a little 5-minute video on it. I'm gonna keep throwing it at you, you and Johanna and the rest of you guys. Because we're the only crew out there that teaches that the Sabbath comes in based upon when the new moon comes in. All right.
I got a scripture too. Being that we talking about the law, it was the Spirit, and I opened my Bible and it was heavy. It was right on this page. That happens sometimes. The Spirit, Galatians 5:1, right? Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Yahushua, not Christ, right? Even though it says Christ there, I'm gonna say Yahushua. Yahushua have made and that's another thing. That the name thing. You in violation of the law on that, man. You are in violation of Revelations, man. 22. You in violation of a lot of scriptures dealing with that. The scriptures talk about you're supposed to call upon the name of the Lord. Man, I'll tell you what, Nate. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Yahushua have made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. See what I'm saying? Now the law, right? Really, that's talking about like when you came into the truth, when you was awakened to the knowledge, the bond with sin. The yoke of bondage is all that sin, all that wickedness that when you was in the world, you was doing all that wickedness, man. You was in bondage to that, man. But when the Yahushua woke you up and freed you from wickedness, from sin, then you came you came from up out of that. So once you in this truth, you ain't supposed to be getting involved in things of the world, man, which you niggas are doing. You niggas are doing that, Nate. Everything you doing, man, you taking your congregation pretty much back into the world. And General Yohana's doing the same thing. And all the rest of you guys, and Baloo, you too. Because you saying you don't got to go out speaking, man. You saying, well, you don't got to go out speaking. You don't got to go out there speaking. That's why you don't go out there speaking. And none of y'all go out there speaking, man.
They don't go out. They don't go out because they don't have leaders over them to tell them otherwise. Okay, when they was at the main school, they didn't do that shit, you know. Mm-hmm. But we still go out. We ourselves, the apostles, still go out, man. That's what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted to free yourself under the yoke of the leadership and try to be your own leaders, and you're really not leaders, man.
That's why Baloo's looking for somebody to follow.
Yeah. How could anybody take him? You, Baloo. You know, I've insulted you over the years. I've called you out, and all kind of stuff. But it's really all to no avail, man, because you are really nothing but a fucking reprobate. A reprobate. That's I was looking for another word, but that's really it. Okay, you're nothing but a minute imp. You're nothing but an imp, man. A overgrown imp. That's really what you are. Because no, you're not even an ogre, man. Because an ogre can cause some damage. You can't cause no damage, man. You can't bust a grape. Yeah, you can't bust a grape, man. If I put you in a room, a padded room with Scott tissue, man, you couldn't even break through the Scott tissue, man. Okay, if I put you in a prison made out of Scott tissue, I could keep you in there. That's how weak you are, man. Okay? You know what I'm saying, man? You're minute. You're nothing, man. You're limited. You're unable. You're inept. That's all you are, man. Because, first of all, who takes you serious? Nobody takes you. That's why I used to.
The sign that he got the comfy flag on it.
Oh boy,
the comfy states flag on the shit, man. On his webpage, his YouTube page, he got that placard of the Lord's prayer that he got from us, that the brother put together. Then he said that we got it from someplace else. No, it was a brother that put that together, you dumbass.
Yeah, man, you a liar, man. But the thing is this, the point I'm making, you, like Apostle Aramlab said, you looking for somebody to follow. But I thought you was this big-time leader. You had your own camp. You had that camp for years, on the 14th Street camp. That was going back at least a few years, because there would be other people that would come to our camp. 14, where that brother? Where them 14th Street brothers? So he was out there for a few years with that 14th Street camp. You and the other little short dude and Steve Murdoch, that big watermelon head nigga. You know what I'm saying? You was out there for a few years, but what happened, man? You couldn't stay the course because you ain't really got it in you, man. All right? You ain't really got it in you. You ain't really got it, man. You ain't got it. It's just like we always, mention the boxing thing, because we box. It's like you bring a guy in the gym, like Apostle Tahar always says. When you bring a guy in the gym and first time you let him spar, the dude might come to the gym for 6 months before he even spars. You gotta build up to sparring, hitting the bag, doing everything else. And you know what? The dude might be awesome on the bag and shit. Hitting the bag. I mean, the dude might look like he gonna be the next Floyd, right? When he hitting that bag. Shadow boxing, motherfucker. He probably looked just like Floyd Mayweather and all that and this, that, and the other. Doing the running, doing everything. The dude might get all in shape, be cut up, but then okay, well, you gonna spar now. You ready? Okay. And then once he get in the ring and the dude get hit, once the dude get hit a couple of times and he bitches up, and then all of a sudden right away nah, man. Look, maybe you shouldn't. This ain't for you. You ain't got it. Your trainer tell you, I can see you ain't got it in you. You ain't. Just leave it alone, or you might get hurt. That's you, Baloo, man. That's why you went out all these years. You was faking the funk. You was just putting up a facade, man. But I'm gonna finish reading this scripture, right? Galatians 5:2. Right? And and a lot of you guys ain't got it. Like Apostle Tahar said a minute ago, y'all was in One West under the leadership, the top 7, but then y'all wanted to rebel and be your own leaders, right? But then when that happened, y'all didn't know what the fuck to do with yourself. And you didn't know what to tell your congregation, man. That's you too, Nate. That's why you faking it. You just winging it, man. You this big time leader. You got these schools all over the place, but you don't even know. You don't know how to be a leader, Nate. You just faking it, man. You just and we can see it, man. We can see it. You just fake it, man. You sit up there on the podium with them other fucking bozos with you, and you sitting there breaking down the scriptures wrong, and when we watch you, we're like, oh shit, this dude is a phony, man. This dude is acting, man. We can see right through you, man. You know what I mean? With your 13th warrior armbands on and shit, man. You just a goddamn actor. You an actor, man. You dudes don't know the scriptures. You don't know what to tell them zombies, man. That's why you said you don't gotta go out in the winter time. You don't gotta go out in the winter time. It's too cold. You understand? Because Blue said Tahar's getting worse. You guys are getting worse and worse. Every time we see you, you guys are just getting worse and worse. And then we seen Comfy's video, man. But that's the scripture. The scripture says evildoers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Okay? And y'all don't even realize it, man. But look at this right here. Galatians 5:2. Behold, I, Paul, say unto you, that if ye be circumcised, the law, right, all that stuff about the law, because circumcision is a part of the law, right? But that's what Paul was alluding to, because them guys, them Jews, they was all caught up on the law, right? And that's why they had a problem with the Israelite foreigners, the Israelites that were living in other countries, man. Yahushua shall profit you nothing. There you go, Nate. That scripture cuts you right there, man. You talking about the law. You gotta keep them laws. You gotta keep the law. And you don't even keep the law, man. Right? For I testify again to every man that is circumcised that he is a debtor to do the whole law. We just said that. Apostle Ramla mentioned that, and I mentioned it. So, Nate, if you don't keep one law right, then you going off. You might as well not keep the law. You might as well not keep the law, man. We telling you right now.
Going any goddamn way.
Yeah.
It's pharisaical, man. Pharisaical. I'm making up words. Pharisaical.
Yeah. You guys are them wicked Pharisees, man. That's who you are. Because you had some righteous Pharisees. Some of the Pharisees followed Yahushua, but you had wicked ass Pharisees too, man. And those are the ones that Yahushua was getting on. Those are the particular guys that he was talking about. That they enlarged the borders of their garments.
Yeah, we get on them, Nate, and we get on Nate, Comfy, and Johanna, and Bubble Eyes. We get on them guys because they're going off. And then we're doing it for the sake of the other people that are watching, man. That you know there was a prophet among you. We told you. At the end of the deal, you're going to say, well, them GMS, the apostles on down to the captains and, generals and sergeants and so forth and elders and so forth and bishops, that you realize that we were the men of the Lord, man. And that's why we're hated. Because we get on all them guys, man. Like on Johanna's behalf, he's having his second annual cookout on the so-called Sabbath, and that's you going off, because we know that's not the real Sabbath. But you clowns, you bozos think it's the Sabbath. But why would you have a cookout on the Sabbath? And I was watching one video. They had a DJ out there. They were playing music. They were dancing. They were spitting fire, so to speak. They had women out there, kids. Then you had them fucking heathens out there, man. What you idiots got to understand is, why are you getting together with them heathens, man? When I say heathens, I'm talking about guys like Shaka, Amos, Polite, Sarnetta, Reggie, all them other guys, man. Those guys, we don't have no dealings with those guys, man. They're heathens, man. You ain't supposed to have no dealings. You ain't supposed to rub shoulders with them. Here you buddy with them, and then they go on praising another god, man. Are you out your damn mind? And Tazariak, man, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua going to destroy you, man. Because you know the deal. Because we done signal your ass out. All you are is a man pleaser for General Yohana. And Yohana's a goddamn sellout. And then you have Yeshaya out there. Yeshaya ain't in the truth, man. Yeshaya is not in the truth. Period.
He never was.
End of sentence. And you know what? I'm going to say this too. There's a video where, I don't know if that's Cleveland, somewhere in the Midwest, where you had the Comfies guys. You had one guy, the head guy's in a wheelchair, right? And he rolled up, literally, with the rest of his men. They were wearing the black, the white, and the red uniform. They rolled up on this group called Thug. Y'all heard about Thug? There's a group of Israelites, but they watched us because they used Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. So they got their inspiration through us. So they on their own, like the Thug stand for, the Hebrews of God. I'm not even going to try to break it down, man. The Hebrews under God or some shit like that. Thug. So they roll up on him, and the guy in the wheelchair, which represented Comfy, he asked him about the name that the Mosai is going to give his son a name which is higher than any name. And he quoted this scripture, right? Philippians 2. The key point, I'll go to the key point, then I'll jump up, right? It says, 9th verse, Philippians 2 and 9. Wherefore God, I'm going to read it verbatim. Wherefore God also have highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every name. So he said, well, wait a minute. Joshua is Yahweh Shai. So how is that? So how is Yahweh Shai the name? Well, you bunch of idiots. The word name means name, like you give somebody a name, but it's also a title. And you understand that when you go up a couple of verses. 6th verse. It's talking about Yahweh Shai, right? It said, who being in the form of God, God meaning an angelic force, thought it not robbery to be equal with God. That's talking about the angels, the Most High. God, the word God means judge, and in the spiritual sense, it means somebody on an angelic level, a mighty power. 7. But made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, meaning when he came down on the earth as a man. He was born by way of a man and a woman, because Comfy teaches that they had it was a virgin birth, which is bullshit. All right, they had a virgin birth. That Mary had a virgin birth, and Joseph never had sex with Mary. Joseph did have sex with Mary. All right, he was born as a man, flesh and blood. He he had a genealogy starting with Joseph. Joseph genealogy went back to David, Solomon, and David. Okay? It said, I'm going to read again. It said, but made himself of no reputation and took upon him the form of a servant that was made in the likeness of men. That's why the Romans were able to subdue him, beat him down, and crucify him, man. And he said he had the power to call down angels, but he had to fulfill, his the prophecy. It says, 8th verse, it says, and being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death. And he was put on the cross, put on a tree, and he was up there until he died. Then he took him down and buried him, right? Even the death of the cross. So it mentions the cross, right? 9th verse again. It says, wherefore the Most High also have highly exalted him and given him a name. The word name right there, if you look it up, the word name means a title. Because let's say you know the name of the Most High, right? Or you know the name of the Son. I'm talking about you comfy dudes. Because you're saying that you don't know the name of the Son. The Lord didn't reveal it to you as of yet, right? Somebody hold me Romans 10 and 13. Because you got to know the name to call on him. Because that scripture wouldn't be up in there, man. So now let's say his name is, let me think of a good, Elohim. Okay? Now once I know that name, and I know that's the greatest name, the highest, the most high, there's no name higher than his name, right? All I got to do is say, well, my name is Elohim too. Right? So I'll become equal to him. So it ain't talking about name, you dumb ducks. Go ahead, read that, Ak.
This is the book of Romans chapter 10, verse 13. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved.
So guess what? You clowns say that we don't know the name of the Lord, Yahweh Shai. So guess what? Nobody's going to be saved because he just read the scripture. Whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Read on.
How then shall they call upon him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they and how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent?
So the Most High set up guys to be men of the Lord to teach other guys. And part of the teaching is the name. So the true believers, the apostles, the disciples, the prophets, whatever label you want to put on them, the teachers of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, the ones that go out there and teach you, you know that they're the teachers when they tell you what is his name and what is his son's name. What did Moses say to the Lord? What is your name so that I may tell the people, man? You people are stupid, man. Hold up, Bach. Now it says, 9th verse again, wherefore the Most High also have highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every name. Like I said, as soon as you say the name of the Son is Elohim, all I got to do is say, well, my name is Elohim. My mom called me Elohim. So guess what? My name is equal to his name. So it ain't talking about that, dummies. It's talking about a title. Because didn't it say he humbled himself as a man? And then was exalted? And then you say, well, Joshua, first of all, Joshua is not Joshua of old, wasn't his name. His name was Hawashai, Hosea. That was his family name. It was Moses that gave him the surname, put the Yah in the front of it, man. Bunch of dumbasses. It says that at the name, now the word there is Jesus, right? That at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth. Because you're saying the white man took it out and he put that in there. Well, why follow the scriptures at all? If the white man can tamper with the name, he can tamper with the whole book. Right? Now I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to the 10th verse, right? And it says in the Greek, it says, Haina en onoma Jesus pas goni campto. Which I'm gonna read in English. It says that at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow, right? Now, when you come across the name Jesus, right? Even in the Greek, they don't have the J in the Greek. There's no J in the Greek, man. The word is Jesus. So there's no G sound in the Greek. And there's no G sound in the Hebrew. Now it goes back to the root of Hebrew origins, and it's H3091, which they went off on that because they put in Yahweh Shah Y. That's not his name. Because how do you know that? When you read down, it says Jesus, Jehovah is salvation. That's not it. Jehovah's that's not his name. Jehovah is salvation would be Yeshaya. Okay? Jesus, the Son of God, the Savior of mankind, God incarnate. Jesus, Barabbas was the capital robber, blah, blah, blah. Then it goes into Joshua, was a famous captain of the Israelites, Moses' successor. And he's mentioned in Hebrews 4 and 8, and he's also mentioned in Acts 7 and 45, right? So they're telling you that the word Jesus is really the word Joshua, right? To show you how these devils operate. Go back to the blue letter. Okay, now it goes into Joshua, right? This is Joshua 1 and 1. Now Joshua, right? All right, Joshua is H3091. Now, if you read it the way it's written in the Hebrew, you be going off. Because like I said, it's Yahweh Shawai. But if you keep looking, see, I'm trying to find, I'm trying to find it. This I can find it, brother. I'm acting like I can't find it, you know. See, it tells you in the scriptures that Moses gave him the prefix. He gave him the prefix Yah in front of Joshua, Hoshea's name or Hawashai's name, so it was Yahawashai. See, it's right here. It says Yahweh Shawai and Yahawashai. Goes on to say the German Joshua, born by the son of Nun, the minister and armor bearer of Moses. So I'm looking for the part where it says Moses actually gave him that prefix. Well, Esau should tell you. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to Hosea. This is how I'm gonna find it. This is 2 Kings 17. Well, I'm going to go right to 2 Kings 17 and 1. That's why you got to labor to produce through the spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, so I went to Hoshea, which was one of the kings of Israel. This was the king that was they had took him down, and the kingdom of Israel was the Shalmaneser the fifth of Assyria. The word here in the Hebrew is Hawashai. Now it says here, Hosea. Well, it's the same name for the prophet Hosea. Hosea or Hoshea or O'Shea, which means salvation, or deliverer, which is right. When you put the Yah in the front of Hoshea or Yahawashai, you got Yahawashai. It's a family name of Joshua, the son of Nun. Because it was, like I said, it was Moses that put the prefix Yah in front of Hawashai's name. So his name is Yahawashai, which was Joshua. So Yahawashai that came on the earth, that was born of Joseph and Mary, the name Yahawashai is the same name as Yahawashai the high priest, is the same name as Joshua during the time of Moses, when we left out, the children of Israel left out of Egypt by a great powerful hand, the Most High's hand. And it's someplace else. You have King Hoshea and Hosea the prophet, which is Hawashai. So don't say, well, that's can't be his name, because Joshua had that name. It's talking about a title, you dummy. But we all know, well, all the Israelite groups know that Comfy, he was the first guy to sell out. And then the rest of you guys followed suit, man. Let me go to this here. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Philippians. Go back to Philippians 2. Because now you got a lot of guys saying his name is Ahiah and his son's name is Yeshaya. They're going off. Now these guys from the GOCC, they're hooking up with all these other Hebrew groups, and they have the cookouts with them, and they come together in peace. But guess what? These guys are a bunch of hypocrites, because they say Edomites can make it. They have actual Edomites in their congregation. But did they say, look, we're going to bring some Edomites with us? So that's hypocrisy, man. That's why all you guys were able to come together and not fight or bicker or nothing like that. If we came over there, there'd been a fight, brother. I'm telling you right now, man. It would have got rough out there, man. You know? See, when you bring all them demons together, they're all demons, man. It's like snakes. You got a snake pit, right? You throw a bunch of different snakes in the snake pit, they ain't gonna fight each other, but let you jump in that snake pit. All them snakes will jump your ass, right? But them snakes get along just fine. They hanging out with each other, you know? Well, them guys are snakes. That's why we don't go there. We ain't gonna jump in no snake pit with them niggas, because we're not a snake. Let me go back down. Okay, I'm going to read it again. Philippians 2 and 9. Wherefore, the Most High also highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every name. Now I'm going to go to the word name. Because you have great people that have great names, right? Oh, well, you got George Washington, right? The so-called father of this country. But then you got regular Negroes that are named George Washington. You got Esau named George Washington. So when you see George Washington, you say, well, it's not the George Washington, the father of our country or this country, right? It's just another guy with the name of George Washington. That's right. So don't get it twisted. And the George Washington, the so-called father of this country, his name is exalted. Yeah. You know, George Washington that lived down the street that delivered papers, or he just happens to have the same name. Okay, let me go to name, right? Yeah, because you can have, well, you have guys that might have a general in the military, right, in World War II. A lot of them guys name their sons after their general, man. Yeah, that's right. You had some American servicemen that named their sons after Earl, what's it called, the Desert Fox, Erwin Rommel. Remember him? Yeah, Erwin Rommel, which he was a top general of World War II. And he was going up against, what's this guy, Patton, General Patton. Yeah. But a lot of U.S. military, they respected that guy. And I know for a fact, I know actual Jake, brother, that named one of his sons Earl, after Earl Rommel. Okay? Okay, the word there is onoma, right? Let me see something. And this is how you study, man. A lot of you people going to get bored, but this is how you study. You take time and, you know, you labor to produce. See, that's why you got a lot of people that follow guys. They'll see Nate. They like the way Nate does the Catons and the garments all together. So they rush to him and they say, the Lord is really dealing with him. And what happens is, whatever he says, no matter how foolish it is, they blindly listen to it, man.
But the Most High has
that's why he doesn't go deep
and favor us.
You see?
To bring this gospel out on a higher level.
Okay. Okay, name of proper names. The name is used for everything which the name covers. Everything, the thought or feeling of which is aroused in the mind by mentioning, hearing, remembering the name. For one rank, authority, interest, pleasure, command, excellence, deeds. In other words, out of all the great deeds that men did, Yahushua did the greatest of deeds. So his name is exalted. So when everybody reads about Joshua, you got to tell them, no, this is not the Joshua. This is not Yahushua that came on the scene 2,000 years ago. That's Joshua. He had the same name. All right. It says persons reckon up by name. The cause of reason name on this account because he suffers as a Christian for this reason. Oh, here it is. The name by which a person or a thing is called and distinguished from others. So you got 5 guys that's named John Smith. One John Smith saved some woman from drowning, right? When you mention this John Smith and say, oh, I like what you did, you saved. No, I'm not him. That's the John Smith. I got the same name, but that's what you're talking about, that John Smith. That's what that's talking about, man. Because if you guys said that, well, you know, there's a name that's greater than any name. Most High exalted his name. It ain't talking about the actual name, the phonetic way of saying the name. It's talking about his position. Because like I said, you guys are still waiting for the name. Well, then how you going to deal with Romans, the 10th chapter? How you going to deal with Acts, the 4th chapter and the 12th verse? How you going to deal with a number of scriptures where the scriptures say we're supposed to know his name? But we didn't get it yet. The Lord didn't give it to us yet.
Yeah, it's just like you'll have like a particular war or even a football team or baseball team, and the team will play together, but there's one particular guy that stands out above all of them. They call him the MVP, or they'll call him, they'll give him an award, for leading, that particular battle.
You got wars that are numbered. You have the Punic War. I believe you had 3 Punic Wars. So you have to distinguish the first Punic War from the other 2. Or you had the Syrian Wars, which was the wars between the Ptolemaic dynasty against the Seleucid dynasty. But I believe there were 5 or 6 Syrian war. Historians call them Syrian wars. So when you speak about a Syrian war, you have to say, well, which Syrian war are you talking about? Are you talking about the first one? It has the same name.
Roman-Jewish war.
Right, you had the Roman-Jewish wars, and you had, what, three of them, I believe? The Catos Wars, which was a Roman-Jewish war.
Yeah, I got a precept. This is Colossians 1:16. For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether it be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him.
Right, and anybody else that has that particular name, Jesus or Yahweh Shai, can't claim those things. So his name stands above everybody else's name.
And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which means he's above every other Israelite.
So you got to distinguish his name from other names.
Yeah, and his deeds prove that. Another thing connected with your name is your deeds. Like in the olden days, they'd have like Ivan the Terrible.
Which Ivan are you talking about?
Yeah, which Ivan are you talking
about? His son?
Yeah, Kubla Khan. Person's deeds would be associated with their name.
Like you had a line of the Seleucids and Antiochus.
Yep.
There was many different Antiochus.
Herod the Great.
Right, Herod.
Why was he great? Because of his deeds, what he did. And his building architectures.
It distinguished him. They distinguished that particular person above everybody else that had that particular name.
Or a place could be connected with someone's name, like Simon of Cyrene, or Cyrene. He was from Cyrene. He's called Simon of Cyrene. So, there's a lot to just, obviously they don't understand the term name.
Elder Gabar, which is different than Simon Bar Jonah.
Yeah, Simon Bar, which is son of Jonah. They probably don't even know that. A lot of these Israelite groups that dress like they're from the Earth, Wind, and Fire, a lot of them, you say, what does the word Simon Bar Jonah mean? They wouldn't even know how to break that down. They just
bar is Aramaic for son of.
For son of. They just look the part.
Yeah, said now what these clowns did when they were going up against Thug, they were laughing and snickling, right? And then they brought out certain scriptures, and one of the scriptures that they brought out was Jeremiah 23:30. And even Harad Gadya, that idiot, when he went to Texas, he called himself cutting them guys with this scripture because he asked them about the 12 tribes sign. Where'd you get that from? And then he said, did you stole it from Ariah? Bunch of you damn idiot. It says, therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, saith the Lord, Yahweh, that steal my words, every one from his neighbor. So you guys break it down and say, well, you saw one guy breaking it down in scripture one way and you stole it. It ain't talking about you bunch of ignoramuses. That means that the Most High gave the prophet the word, and he's supposed to go out to his neighbor to teach it, bring out the prophecy. Not there's a parable about putting the your talent in a napkin, or that piece of money in a napkin. Well, it's the same thing. The Most High gave you prophecies to break down to the people, and you're not supposed to hide it. You're supposed to give it out to the people. If you don't give it out to the people, then you're stealing, like Yeshaya. Yeshaya stole. He got the knowledge, and he went so far, then he stopped teaching. All of a sudden, he's trying to make a comeback. Oh, Johanna, Nate, Baloo, all of them, man. Because the Most High said go out in the wintertime, man. So you're stealing it from them in the wintertime, but you're not even teaching it to them because you're not even breaking down all the scriptures, man. So here these crackpots from the comfy crew reading that scripture talking about you stealing the word. It ain't talking about that, dumbass.
Yeah, that's right. I got a precept. Now this is a Psalm of David. This it says, Psalm 22 and 22. I will declare thy name unto my brethren in the midst.
How you going to declare the name if you don't know it? If we're still waiting for it.
Yeah, how can now in Isaiah 55 and 11 the Lord said, all his word shall be fulfilled. It shall not return unto him void. So by you saying that we don't have the name, then I guess the scripture is void then. Psalm 22 and 22. It says, I will declare thy name unto my brethren. And really this is the spirit of Yahushua speaking through David. So you better believe Yahushua has revealed his name unto us. If we be ambassadors of Yahushua, right? How the hell are we not going to have his name? When the scriptures say that we're ambassadors unto Yahushua. We're supposed to represent Yahushua. So we got to have the name. I will declare thy name unto my brethren, which is what we've been doing and we're still doing. In the midst of the congregation will I praise thee. Now how the hell are you going to praise the Most High and the Son if you don't have the name?
Oh, well, you can call him Christ.
Yeah.
Call him Christ.
Or you'll play yogurt.
Yep.
Like that.
Or Allah.
Yeah, like that big clown, that buggy-eyed clown. That's one of Nate's zombies. But that's the scripture, Psalm 22 and 22. And by the way, the Apostle Paul recanted that scripture in the book of Hebrews, showing you how important the name is. You got a precept?
Romans, I'm going to start at Romans 14 and 23, but I'm going to read the first couple of verses in the 15th chapter, right? And this is like we're talking about these guys, the reason that they stopped teaching and stopped doing what they were supposed to do, the reason that they were hiding the word from their neighbors, because they lacked faith and they didn't really believe, right? Romans 14 and 23, I'm going to read 23. And he that doubteth is damned if he eat, because he eateth not of faith. For whatsoever is not of faith is sin. See, because you guys didn't have faith, that's why y'all fell off. That's why Johanna left for 10 years or whatever, took a 10-year hiatus. All right, that's why Nate, you took a couple of year hiatus. Yeshaya, like the Apostle Tahar said, he took a permanent hiatus because he's back. He ain't back. He ain't back because he ain't doing the work. He ain't got no camp. He ain't going out there. But back when he had the knowledge to some degree, he was whole because them guys stopped teaching. They gave up. All kind of people, man. A Tazaban, where's a Tazaban, man? And you guys from the house, HODC, you dudes took a break. You disappeared for years, man. Then you guys are just recently making your comeback. You guys always taking
breaks, man.
Breaks. And you guys are having birthday parties and weddings and all this other shit.
Bar mitzvahs.
Yeah, bar mitzvahs, bad mitzvahs. All right? Romans 15 and 1. We then that are strong are to bear the infirmities of the weak. And how do we do that? Because the people that's not in the knowledge that's out there, that's not of the elect that haven't been woken up yet, they're weak because they're still not. They still haven't been woken up to the knowledge. The ones of us that are strong, that have the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, we're supposed to go out there and teach How do we do that? By going out there on the street. I mean, yeah, we're doing videos and sit-downs, but the main thing is going out there on the highways and the byways, like the scriptures say. Not hiding the talents, man. You understand what I'm saying? And you're doing the videos and all that, too. You're supposed to be involved in this work, man. See, that's what you ought to be doing. You guys, y'all didn't do that when you left and took breaks. And when you're not going out in the winter months, you're definitely doing that. You're guilty, man. You're guilty, man. You're going to sit there for 3 months and say, no, we ain't going out there right now. It's too cold. It's brick cold.
Well, they still haven't gone out. They still haven't gone out. Here it is middle of May, man. You know? Hey, well, anyway, when you finish saying what you got to say, I want to go into that Revelation 17.
I just want to finish
Go ahead.
this up and then that's it. Romans 15 and 2. Let every one of us, because it coincides with right what you was just cap that off. Let every one of us please his neighbor, meaning your brother, for his good to edification. How do you edify? By going out there teaching, and not just and teaching the right things too, teaching his knowledge the right way. Third verse: for even Yahushua pleased not himself, but as it is written, the reproaches of them that reproached thee fell on me. See what I'm saying? So Yahushua was out there teaching. His ministry was for 3 years solid. And in that 3 years, he didn't take no breaks. Yahushua was teaching hardcore, man. Right up until the minute they put him up on the cross. And he was still prophesying and teaching on the cross. Okay, so you guys, you all guilty, man. You guys are guilty, man. That's why y'all going to be destroyed, man. All you fakes and phonies.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I'm going to go into Revelation 17, but I'm going to say this on behalf of this tour that Reggie, Brother Reggie, I guess that's his title, Brother Reggie, is getting ready to do tomorrow. I mean, if y'all want to go out there, y'all go out there, man. I ain't talking about you guys in GMS, but any of you niggas out there, you know, go out there with them guys, man. You know, so you can teach you some nonsense. But anyway, he did like a sort of like a semi-tour, and basically the latest video that they did, they actually went up in there, and they were hiding the camera. They wasn't out in the open with the camera, because a couple of times they got caught. The guard said no camera. They got the thing that looked like a snapshot camera, and Sarnetta had on his thing and had it on, was walking around. That's what they were doing. Okay, so they said they're gonna do the Egyptian section, which when you go up in there, you make that right, and that's the Egyptian section. That's when you go to the back where they had that scene with this guy from I Am a Legend, Smith. He was in that museum there. That was one of the scenes in there.
Yeah.
And then when you go throughout the museum, there's a near Middle Eastern section. So Brother Reggie, and then went to where during the time of the time period or the rulership of the Assyrians. And as usual, Sarnetta didn't know what the hell was going on. He's asking him stupid ass questions, and he was saying how those people were not black, that they were mixed people, and that they took down Israelites. So it was other black people taking down other black people. And then Reggie went into the thing about how the so-called white man was in the Caucasus Mountains, and then they came down into Mesopotamia among the black people. No, Esau wasn't even thought of, man. So you don't even know tell me where the white man came from. You said today Esau was pushed up into the Caucasus Mountains, man, and not all of them were pushed up in there. You had Edomites that stayed down there in Mount Seir. All right? What was one of them? Hadad? I believe that was Hadad, if I'm not mistaken. I can look him up. Where he was afraid of David. Because David couldn't stand them Edomites. And after he found out that David died, he basically saying, are you sure he died? Because I ain't going back in the Middle East down there by Mount Seir unless I know David died. And I think Joab died, got old and died. Because them Edomites back there, they had a healthy fear for Israel, man. See, they don't have it right now, but guess what? They're going to get it back. They're going to get it back, man. You know? You got to eat. Hey, Dad? Go to the account. Let's go to the account, man.
Yes, sir.
There wasn't no, you had people living up in the Caucasus Mountains, and then before Abraham, these Caucasoids came down. No, Reggie, you got it all wrong. But you know what? I'm going to do a follow-up on that museum tour, because I've been to that museum many a times, man. So I'm going to do a follow-up on that thing. Matter of fact, we actually did, so you won't say we're biting, we did a video back in 2009 called GMS, and I put it up. I put one part up. I'm going to give it to you right now. So we've been there, done that, man.
But anyway, yeah, man. They'll teach the world. Yeah, we talked about the beneficiaries of
the whole thing is on Daily Motion.
Yeah, of who benefited or who donated monies to the cause of the museum. We mentioned Bloomberg was there.
Yep.
His name was up on that, and then I think a couple of the shifts.
Yeah, shifts were up there. The I believe the Rockefellers.
Yeah, the Rockefellers.
I believe the Kennedys.
So we mentioned that. We talked about that.
Go back one. Go back one.
Yeah, because I just put this up on what is the 666 mark, and it's part 2 GMS at the NYC Metropolitan Museum of Art. And it already has 9 views and 4 thumbs up.
As a matter of fact, we used to speak down there. That should be made mention too. We used to set up our camp and speak down there, right in front of the damn museum.
They chipped the nose off. They cut the nose off.
So, don't say that we're copying you.
Yeah, hell no. If anything, they bite from us. We're
right now, they're basically going to the museum and calling themselves teaching the people. Like I said before, Shaka taught that and others among them said that the Hebrews never existed. But Reggie's talking about this is when the Assyrians took down the Hebrews. Well, wait a minute. Do the Hebrews exist or do they not exist? Or were they done away with as a people? Because if they did exist, where are they today? And don't go to like polite. Don't go to 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, talking about they were spoiled. That means they were done away. When you spoil something, that means you take their goods, man. If you go ransack a house, the family come back, the family's still there. They just spoiled the house. They took their goods. That's what that's talking about. And put them into slavery.
So they're still existing. Dead slaves would make they would make good profit.
Why would you take down a nation and want to kill everybody?
Yeah.
What kind of shit is put them in slavery?
Yeah, put them in slavery.
Well, we, as the Moors, when we went down to southern Italy, man, we killed all the men and popped all the women, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got some benefit from that.
Yeah, as much as Esau hates.
Jake was getting it in, man. They were getting it in, man. They were hitting like 6 and 7 women at a time. One day you line up 6 women, pop them, get them all pregnant and shit. And the next day you line up another 10 women, pop them. Like every day you pop a woman, and before you know it, 9 months later, you got a nation right there, man.
Yeah. Oh, they got the icon in the book, Nature Knows No Color Line, of the real dark-skinned Moor grabbing up on a so-called white woman. And I think the name of the icon is called, or the picture is called 9 Times a Day. And the way he was grabbing her from behind, like,
see, you guys don't like that, man. Hey, in the kingdom, brother, we're going to be doing our thing with the Israelite women, with the Japhetic woman, with the Moabite woman, with the Ammonite woman, and with the Edomite woman, man. See, who's the greatest king?
King Solomon.
King Solomon. How many women did he have? 1,000, right? How many women of the different nations? Of all the nations, man.
Oh, I'm right there.
Huh?
Right there. Right? I got the scripture. 1 Kings, that's funny because I'm right there. 1 Kings 11:1, it says, "But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, Egyptians, women of Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. But King Solomon loved many strange women together with, and by the way, King Solomon is like a prelude of what it's going to be like in the kingdom. All right, this is the only time that Israel dwelled totally in peace. What, 40 years? That's why Solomon, when you, nomen omen, Solomon means peaceful. Because when he reigned, it was peace throughout the nation of Israel. All 12 tribes. Okay? But King Solomon loved many strange women together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites. Edomites. Zidonians.
Born not an Edomite. Deuteronomy 23 and 7. Born not an Edomite. I guess Solomon read that scripture.
It was like General Yohanan. You guys say Solomon was popping a white woman.
Yeah, man. Women of the Moabites, Ammonites. And why? Because Solomon had all these nations. Solomon had all these nations underneath him. He was king over all those nations. So women are spoiled, man. Women are booty. All right, that's why the term booty call. Because women in general are a possession. A woman is a possession, man. Just like a car or your pair of pants. You know.
You Brenner said that in the Ten Commandments. Y'all niggas all saw that movie. Just making sure the mic is on. Y'all all saw that movie. He told that woman and shit that I would love you. You would be like my falcon or my horse. Only I will love you more and trust you less. Yeah, so I go to show you. Even the guy that put the movie together was Cecil B. DeMille. He did the research. He did that. That's how men were and men will be in the future. To tell you the truth, you still got certain men around, real men, who feel that way now, man.
Yeah, us.
We feel that way. Yeah, well, even certain niggas in the world. Because that's why you hear about guys killing women, man. You hear about some dude killing his woman because she messed around or she did this and did that and he just lost it and killed her.
Yeah, because a woman is a possession.
A woman is a possession. So when a woman goes outside of that, that's why this kingdom got to be destroyed, man. Because, yo, man, this place is all fucked up, man. Because in this kingdom, you meet a woman and she got kids, right? And then they got what's called, like when you meet a woman, she'll tell you, yeah, but you don't got to worry about it. I ain't got no baby daddy drama. And why did she have baby daddy drama? Because she was with the guy, that was his woman. They were together, they had kids, they had a family. Then all of a sudden, 9 times out of 10, because of the woman, they broke up because she wanted to be a hoe or she didn't want to listen to his rule, whatever. Right? So they break up. In the dude's mind, that's in a man's spirit. The Most High put that in your mind. In the guy's mind, he's like, fuck that. You my woman. You ain't going to be with and I'm going to be with some other guy. So, because his mind, he's like, look, you my possession. And them goddamn kids. And you telling me you going to leave and go be with some other man, I'll kill you. You know what I mean? So, like we saying, man, a lot of y'all, well, Apostle Tahar said this, all of us, we've been in America too long, man. We've been here, even us, man. We've been here too damn long. We don't have a real clue of really, really what it's like to really even be a real man. I mean, we have an idea of it because the Lord.
Well, that's why they flipped on the rape issue, man.
Yeah. Con. But
Wait a minute, wait, man. They knew about raping.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, when they had them Israelites in slavery, boy, they took them fine ass women and raped them, man.
Con.
They ain't have no problem with that.
Well, I'll prove it to you. When Columbus, and it's documented, they make movies on it. When Columbus and his crew got over here into the Caribbean, and when they landed on the damn Dominican Republic, and they landed in them islands where Ephraim and Simeon and Manasseh was, they got the business, man. They got down with the business, man. They was having their pick of the litter. And you know how fine the so-called Latino woman could be. Them fine-ass Ephraimite women and fine-ass especially the Dominican woman. The so-called Dominican woman is known for being fine. So when Columbus and them so-called conquerors came over here to them Caribbean islands down there where the tribes was, they was just raping the women and having their way with them, man. When the so-called white man went to the west coast of Africa and enslaved the 3 tribes, the Southern Kingdom, they was just having their way, and it's documented in the movies, man. Roots, they show you that 12 years a slave. That dude was just, Django. Oh yeah, the guy, the cat. He had the nigga woman, and he didn't have some goddamn what was her name, Wanda Sykes looking nigga. Is that her name? He didn't have no damn Wanda Sykes looking. Whoopi, he didn't have no Whoopi Gold. He didn't have. In the movie, my man didn't get Whoopi Goldberg to sit there. I know you right there about me, baby. Or Oprah Winfrey looking. He had a fine. That nigga woman was fine, sexy, fine nigga woman, showing you what the slave master had, the pick of what he wanted, man. Because he had a ruling class mentality, and he was an Edomite, right? He was a white man, a slave master, but he was having sex with a fine-ass black woman, right? But then you can say, well, wait a minute. How can you say you hate these niggas, but you popping you popping a black woman? Them other Edomites didn't say that to him. They was doing the same damn thing. Why? Because Esau, the so-called white man, has a ruling class mentality. They had it back then, and they still have it now. They still have it now. They understand. Look, we over these niggas. They're our slaves, and spoil. We're spoiling them. How? We took their land. The so-called white man, Esau has the land of Israel. He has, America was our land at one time, but the white man came and took that, and he got this now, and he got us, and he got our women. All right? That's called the way of the world, man. That's called the way of the world. But that goes back to the scriptures, man. When you take a nation, you spoil that nation. And Polite, you stupid fucking asshole. I ain't want to curse, man, but you bring the shit out of a nigga, man. You know what I mean? That show you how retarded you are. You ain't really educated, man. Spoil means to take a people, take their shit, meaning if you got gold, we take the apostle gonna look it up. If you got gold, we're gonna take your gold, man. If you got horses, we're gonna take your horses. If you got weapons, we're gonna take your weapons. Your land, that's our land. Meaning we can roll. If you got a nice house, we're gonna roll up in your house and live in your nice house. Drink your wine from your wine cellars. Okay? And if you got fine ass women around, guess what's gonna happen to them women? Okay? If you got a fine-ass wife, we may just kill you, put you to death, and pop your wife because we can't touch her if you're still alive. Your daughters, we're going to take them, they're going to get popped. Your cousins, your niece, whoever, man. And they're going to be all taken, man. They show you that in the movies, the white man, so-called white man. In that movie, another one with Brad Pitt, Troy.
I was watching the other day.
When they rolled up, when the Greeks rolled up on the city of Troy, and they rolled up in there, and Achilles and them guys, they got off the boat and they started killing them other soldiers. And then they rolled up in that temple where the king's niece was. She was a virgin, and she was fine. What did they do, man? What's his name? Achilles took her back to his chambers, man, and he ended up popping her.
And then if she said no, you can say no all you want. That makes it more fun. Makes it more fun when you say no. And you try, you hit the with, you over her, and she's kind of, doing this shit. Get off me, get off me. That's how hey, Israelites like that. Hey, but you know what? Hey, but you know what, man? See, that's why Polite couldn't do it, get it, because Polite, he been in America too goddamn long, man. Hey, I'm gonna have you read this, all right? Because there's a lot of meat in it, right? And we're gonna have to bring this out. The nature knows no color. We're going to have to get back in because it's a nice day. So we're going to get into that thing about getting Edomite women and putting them in slavery and all that, man.
Bring out all the history.
Get the people riled up. Go ahead, Ak.
This is Slavery in the Arab World by Murray Gordon. Chapter 4, Sex and Slavery in the Arab World. The most common and enduring purpose for acquiring slaves in the Arab world was to exploit them for sexual purposes. Islamic law conferred upon the owner of slaves full control over their sexual and reproductive functions as well as the fruits of their labor. He had fairly complete sexual access to his female slaves and kept for his own kinship group the children he sired with them.
Break that down.
Okay.
Sired
So in other words, he said he had the women that were slaves. They were at his disposal for sexual purposes, and then he kept the kinship group of the children that he cited. So in other words, the children that those particular slave women had by the master, those are his children. It says these women were nothing less than sexual objects who, with some limitations, were expected to make themselves available to their owners, to watch over these women who were carefully sequestered in the confines of the home. The master added an eunuch to the complement of his household slaves. The castrated male became the keeper of his master's beautiful women. These two opposites, attractive women and castrated men, starkly demonstrated a master's power over the sexual and reproductive functions of his slaves. The marketplace confirmed the high value attached to the sexual aspects of slavery. Eunuchs commanded the highest prices among slaves, followed by young and pretty white women. Young and pretty white women. Islamic law, as already noted, catered to the sexual interests of a man by allowing him to take as many as 4 wives at one time and to have as many concubines as his purse allowed. Polygamy was sanctioned as a way of ensuring the benefits of married life to the many women in Arabia whose husbands were killed in the internecine tribal warfare that afflicted the region. By acquiescing to concubinage, Islam endorsed a long-standing practice among Arab men. The status of concubinage was reserved solely for slaves. A free woman could not be taken as a concubine, which is true. A story about Mansa Musa, the Muslim ruler of the Mali kingdom in the 14th century, is revelatory.
Mansa Musa is an Israelite. Because you had the Mali king. When you look up the Mali kingdom, those are Israelites, man, that embrace the religion of Islam, just like the Moors.
Revelatory of the severity of the prohibition against taking free women as concubines on a visit to Cairo. This otherwise observant monarch was rebuked for his licentious behavior of taking some of the daughters of his subjects as concubines. Then, aback by the public reproach, he inquired whether an exception was available for kings. Not even for kings, was the reply, in deference to the law. He agreed not to take any more free women into his household as concubines.
Now, I'm going to show you something, right? The Mali Empire, right? The Mali Empire, also historically referred to as the Mandin Kurufaba, was a Mandinka Bambara Empire in West Africa from circa 1230 to circa 1600. Now, why do you think that came to an end in 1600? Because the white man was enslaving us, man. But prior to the white man coming in and taking us down, pursuant to prophecy, we had this empire, right? The empire was founded by Sundiata Keita and became renowned for the wealth of its rulers, especially Mansa Musa, because Mansa Musa was doing his own thing. The Mali Empire profoundly influenced the culture of West Africa through the spread of its language, laws, the laws of the Most High, and customs along the lands, along the Niger River, and extended, and that's part of the reason why we were called Nigers or niggers, because we were situated at the Niger River, all right? Niger meaning black. It says over a large area that consisted of numerous vassal kingdoms and provinces. So that was us. Anywhere we went, just like today. Okay, let's look at Floyd Mayweather, right? Who dominates the boxing world? Israelites, right? Floyd is the king of that shit, man. That's why everybody hates his ass, man. Who dominates the world of the NBA? The NFL world, the baseball world. Them Simeonites, man. Anything that we do, the music industry, man. You got Edomites, if they sound good, which they're Jake anyway, they try to sing like us, man.
Yeah.
What came out of damn North Northeast Africa. What great performance came out of Northeast Africa? Huh? None. That's it on that.
Oh, and
Unless
Apostle
you got some
Taha.
more.
Now, you said Mandinka, right? When you read, you was going into that about them being Israelites, the Malis, right? Now you said Mandinka. Now it threw me to roots. Now this guy Kunta Kinte, he was supposed to be from the Mandinka tribe. He was.
We were the Mandinka.
Yeah.
We were the Mandinka.
Kunta
So
Kinte-
Esau knew that. He said, "Oh, this guy's a Mandinka."
Yeah.
Those wasn't Hamites. Those were Israelites, man.
That's right, and they had embraced Islam. Now I have to go back to check it. In roots,
No,
I
look at
believe.
this guy. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, man. Hey, I'm sorry. Now this is Mansa Musa, right? Hey, look at this guy. Get the camera.
Get your cameras ready. Hey, now in roots, I believe Kunta Kinte was a Muslim, right?
Yeah, they were all Muslims.
He was a-
They embraced the religion.
Yeah.
Give me the mic. That's Mansa Musa. See? He was an Israelite, man.
Look at that.
He had that crown on his head. He had the scepter. Give me that in Genesis 49, the scepter. That's a Judite right there. He's sitting on the throne.
Look at that, man. Down in Africa. And Kunta Kinte, go back and watch the movie. You can get it on YouTube. He was a Muslim. Because when he would pray, he was praying 3 times a day. He was bowing 5 times a day. Salaki, he was praying. Kunta Kinte was a Muslim, right? They were following Islam.
After all
Yeah, because I remember.
prayed to so-called Allah. Because Jake embraces anything that they have that deals with religion. They come over here, they become Baptist, Methodist, Jehovah Witness. When you win an Oscar, I like to thank God. You win a Grammy, I like to thank God.
That's all the
Esau don't
boxers
do that,
say.
man.
That's all they say.
All the boxers say it wouldn't be possible without the man upstairs.
Yep.
That's Jake, man.
Yep.
That's Jake.
Or this guy. Now, this dude, he just recently made a comeback last year. Elder Barge, which supposedly he's supposed to be a cracker, but he ain't.
I must be allowed to speak, brother.
Yeah.
Check this out. It says, you get that on deck, Genesis 49. It says, Mansa is a Mandinka word meaning king of kings or emperor. Right, an emperor is a king of kings. Because you have if you're an emperor, you have kings, lower kings, vassals. Yep. It is particularly associated with the Kiita, I can't read that, dynasty of the Mali Empire, which dominated West Africa from the 13th to the 16th century. Powers of the Mansa included the right to dispense justice and to monopolize trade. When Jake does shit, they take shit over, man. Monopolize trade, particularly in gold, because we knew about gold. Mansa Sundiata was the first to assume the title of Mansa, which is king of kings or emperor, which was passed down through the Kiita line with few interruptions well into the 15th century. Now, 15th, 16th century, all that shit got broke up because the fulfillment of us going into slavery, because that's where they got the slave from, the western part of Africa. All right? Other notable Mansas include his son Wali Kiata and the powerful Mansa Musa, whose Hajj helped define a new direction of the empire. The succession of the Mali Empire is primarily known through Tanzanian historian Ibn Khaldun's History of the Barbers. I'm not going to read them more than that. But they were Israelites, man.
You want Genesis 49?
You go ahead and read it. Yeah.
Genesis 49 and 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Speak on it.
Khan, read that again, brother.
Okay, John and 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah,
Right, because that's speaking about Yahushai. Ultimately, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords and King of Kings. But then you also have Judites, the line of Judah. They're going to be sitting in the kingly position. Go ahead. Until Yahushai comes back.
The fulfillment was 2,000 years ago. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor his Lord give it from between his feet until Shiloh come. When 2,000 years ago when he came, that's why Herod wanted to fulfill that prophecy of being, because Herod, they thought they were Judites, so they knew that the real that Shiloh was going to come.
That's right. Yeah, read it again.
Yes. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Right, and that's who Israel gathered to, Yahushai. A majority of them didn't accept him back then, but they're gonna, they're still Israelites. They're gonna make it into the kingdom, So the people gathered unto him. That's why, like the apostle Tahar just mentioned about Herod. Herod wanted to kill the Messiah because he heard that the king, of Israel was being born, and he understood the prophecy. So he got nervous because he knew that once this particular man came on the scene, him and his family's inheritance of the throne would be in jeopardy. So the gathering of the people is going to be to Yahushai, and we're coming to that point now where Yahushai, when he comes back, as scripture say, every knee shall bow to him. Everybody's gonna bow to the Messiah, Yahushai. That it on that?
Yes, it.
Okay.
And Herod was a damn Edomite, man. Which goes to show you that spirit of the devil that was in him. In the spirit, he knew he was an Edomite, or he knew he was of the devil, man. That's why when we get these Edomites in slavery, man, they ultimately gonna be exterminated, man, for all the things that they've done,
Yeah, it's actually. And you're going to see it in post-production. It's from the book Nature Knows No Color Line. It's under the section Negro Ancestry and the White Race. And there's a picture of, you could straight up see it's a Jake, probably a Moor, and he's holding this so-called white woman from behind. Okay, and then the caption of the picture says, 4 times of the day. So four times of the day, you had Jake having sex with these so-called white women back then. This is the result of like today you have in particular you have your Sicilians and the people of Calabrese, because the Moors conquered those areas, and the Moors were having sex with those women. All right, and that's why you have your dark Sicilians today, which it wasn't just Jake that was having sex with over there. You had the Arabs too. The Arabs, they were impregnating a lot of the Italian women, because the Arabs took over that part of Italy, and Jakes as well. But that's all part of history, man, and that's a history that a lot of you Jakes are ignorant to, and especially you individuals that claim you're in the truth, which you should be ashamed of.
That's right.
You should be ashamed of that, man, because you're supposed to know this history. Show how this shows you how Israel was scattered among the nations, just like the Lord said he would do, pursuant to the curses. He shall scatter the Israelites from one end of the earth even unto the other, and slavery played a big role in the scattering of our nation. Slavery.
That's right. And then I just recently found out that this particular island off the west coast of Italy, which is called Sardinia, there was 4,000 Jewish soldiers, Israelite soldiers that were stationed there.
Sardinia, right?
In Sardinia. So a lot of them Sardinians you see today, they're Jakes, because 4,000 Jakes up in there, what went down, but you being ignorant, because you're looking at the skin color of these people, because they may look like Edomites or Arabs, you're going to think that they're straight up Arabs. But a lot of them, a vast majority of them, are Israelites. Just like you had Israelites, Roman soldiers stationed mainly that came out of Syria and Egypt. So a lot of those people you see there, that are not Arabs or that are not actual Egyptians are Israelites. But just because they don't look like your typical Israelite or so-called Negro or whatever the case be, you think that they're automatically heathens. When the scriptures tell you that Israel is as the sands of the seas, innumerable. So not every Israelite is going to look like your typical so-called Negro with the afro,
Jakes look like Edomites. That's right. Like this guy, Blake Griffin's son. He looked like a straight-up Edomite, man.
That's right. And you being ignorant, you think that he's an Edomite or other people are Edomites because of the way they look. You got to get past that. I mean, your first reaction, you see somebody that looks like a white person is that they're Edomite or Hamite, whatever. But then when you get to talk to them or see their mannerisms, you say, no, I'm wrong about this. This guy is a Jake. This guy is an Israelite. So, that's the scriptures, the confusion of faces. Now, that scripture in Daniel, the 9th chapter, the confusion of faces basically means that you have Israelites today that don't know that they're Israelites. They're confused. But you also have those that don't look like Israelites, that are Israelites, but just because they don't look like an Israelite doesn't mean that they're not Israel. They're just confused, as far as the way they look. Some of them think they're Edomites. Some of them think they're Chinese. Some of them think they're Japanese. Some of them think they're Arabs. But they're really Israelites. That's why when you really check them out, you see that. Like you see a lot of those East Indians. A lot of those East Indians are Israelites.
Oh, like there's a singer. I don't know if you keep up with a Gabar named Nora Jones. You ever hear of her? Yeah. Now her father is supposed to be East Indian. He's a famous sitar player. Now she's a nigger woman. Yeah. Yeah. So you had a lot of East Indians, especially like the Punjabi people. A lot of them, they got afros and all that, man. And they'll tell you in a minute that they're Indians, but they're Israelites, man.
Yeah, and a lot of them, especially in Punjab, they're shunned by the regular East Indians. They don't have nothing to do with them, They're the caste people or something like that they call them. So you have that among all nations. You have Israelites that are scattered throughout the whole entire world. Even going back 2,000 years and before that, ever since Israel started going into captivity under these different nations, they were spread abroad everywhere. So you don't know who's an Israelite by just looking at them. You have something, brother?
Yeah, this is Isaiah 11:11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea.
Right. That's why you had the Apostle John, which after the 144,000 was sealed, that great multitude that was behind them, some of them did not look like your average Israelite. That's why when an angel asked him, who are these? He didn't recognize them. That's why the safe thing for him to say was, thou knowest. And what did the angel tell him? Said, these are they that have come through great tribulation and that washed their garments in the blood of the Lamb. Why? Because they're Israelites. And when the kingdom is established, it's going to be known that, look, these people are Israelites. Like Bruce Lee, and different other Italian, Sicilian, Irish, and other different Israelites out there,
The retarded ass Steve Murdoch would say, "You look, man, the sniper. You say he's an Israelite sniper. He's trying to say, he sound like a retarded baby. He tried to talk. Who's this guy, Chris? Chris Kyle, Chris. Yeah. Chris Kyle, whatever the hell his name is. Well, now I saw the movie, man. A guy looked like an Edomite, but you could see. I said, man, this guy's a straight up Jake, man. Yep. He's a straight up Jake. And then he showed his father. I said, man, that dude's a straight up Jake. And I believe they were Baptists or something like that. Yep. Out of Texas, man, because you got a lot of so-called Edomites that are actually Israelites, man. Okay. But anyway, what we're gonna do? We're gonna get into Revelation, the 17th chapter. For the sake of the brother that asked the question, then we're going to get ready to close.
All right, this is Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Okay, it says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have... So it says, and there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, and I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Which the great judgment, or the judgment, is talking about the nuclear, and the great whore that sitteth upon many waters represents America, because Babylon the Great, which is America.
Yeah, because you have certain Christians that say that it's talking about the Roman Catholic Church. It's not talking about the Roman Catholic Church. It's talking about the land of America. This is Babylon the Great. And when you read down, you're going to see it.
And I'm jump to the 15th verse real quick. It says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Because the scriptures say that the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, that represents all this the mixed people here in America, that melting pot.
Ain't nobody dreaming about going to the Vatican City, unless you're a Roman Catholic. Ain't nobody saying, I'm going to the Vatican City, man. Nah, people from other countries, they want to come to America, all right?
That's right. It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of a fornication. And you can see that when you go to these different countries, they all have McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, Burger King, you know, all different types of things that you have here in America.
Which means they have GMOs. Because McDonald's is primarily made up of GMOs. You know?
Well, now McDonald's is doing so bad that they're closing up shop, so now they're trying to go all natural, because everybody wants to get into non-GMOs and certified organic and so forth, healthy stuff, gluten-free, because ain't nobody buying that shit. Everybody's trying to get on that health tip, so nobody goes to McDonald's anymore. So now all of a sudden McDonald's want to be healthy, man, but it's too goddamn late. You couldn't pay me to go to McDonald's, man. That's right. You couldn't pay me to go to McDonald's.
It says, verse 3, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And this is a thing of this particular chapter in Revelation 17 is like an allegory. You know, it's symbolic. So the woman is speaking about Babylon the Great, which is America, sitting upon a scarlet-colored beast. That scarlet-colored beast represent those European nations, NATO and the EU, you know, which are allied with America. So they're carrying America because America came out of those European countries, namely in England. It says full of names of blasphemy because they say...
If I may add to the EU, that's nothing but a revival of the Roman Empire. Because the program that the EU is pushing is based upon the old Roman Empire.
That's right.
You know, so that should be mentioned too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Full of names of blasphemy because they're saying they're Christians. They're saying that they're the Most High. This place is what really exalted that image of Caesar Borgia. It says having 7 heads and 10 horns, and the 7 heads represent the 7 major kingdoms of Esau, which is the Greeks, the Romans, the French, the Spanish, Germania Major, Germania Minor, and Britain or England. Those are the 7 heads, and America came out of those 7. I believe so. The Greeks, the Romans, the French, the Spanish, Germania Major, Germania Minor, and Britain, England. So those are the...
Now, you got other clowns such as Nate that'll say Russia's in there. He'll go the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, the Germans, the Russians, and the British. You know where he got that from? He got that from One West.
That's right.
And they broke it down wrong. All right? Russia didn't have nothing to do. Russia wasn't even in power back then, man.
That's right. Russia
came along later.
And the Russians are still being defined against the EU.
Well, the NATO, the reason why NATO was assembled was to take these different nations and they made an agreement, a pact that they considered how powerful Russia was, and basically they said if Russia attacks any one of these nations, the rest of these member nations have to come together to fight against the Russians. So let's say the Russians attacked France, then the U.S. would have to be involved in it. The German would have to be involved in it. All right, Greece and so forth would have to be involved in it. And then you mentioned Greece with this financial situation that they're in, this austerity situation. That goes back into Daniel, the 2nd chapter, where it speaks about the 10 toes, partly strong, partly weak,
which Nate couldn't break down.
He couldn't break it down
correctly.
You know? And that's one of the weak ones. Partly weak is Greece is one of them. You know.
Yeah, and the reason why it's like that today with the friction between the Russians. That's a catalyst, or that will be a catalyst for World War III. Because they're trying to make the Russians bow down to their will, which is not going to happen. And what's going to come out of it? Nuclear missiles. All right?
Which Elder Tara spoke about the 10 toes. The ending of the 3rd verse says, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and those 10 horns represent the EU, the European Union, which was called the European Economic Community, the EEC. And then they changed it to the EU, the European Union, which is nothing but the same European member nations as NATO. You know, they just added more to NATO. You know, and there was supposed to be 10, which it started with 6 when it was first set up. But then when the headquarters building was set up in Belgium, there was 10 flagpoles erected in front, true to prophecy of the 10 horns. But then when they realized that, whether they did that on purpose or not, then they started changing it and made it 12, and then started adding more members to it, more European members. It says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of a fornication. Because when John saw this vision of this woman, she was actually dressed in this apparel, and she looked gorgeous to him in the well, not gorgeous. She looked like a fine woman dressed in red with purple color. She was stunning, right? Desirable. She was a desirable woman when he actually saw her in the vision, and that represented America. Why? Because at one time, all nations looked at America as this like you got, if you can have a bunch of prostitutes on the corner. Usually, a man's gonna go for the finest one, the one that looks the best. You know, so America was looked at as that beacon of light, you know, that golden city, that place where you want to be at, you know, and all nations wanted to come to this place, and that's the reason why she was arrayed in this clothing, because of the air, or that stunningness or spectacular way that these nations looked at on this place as, because they knew they could come here and make money.
And you notice
she was alluring.
Notice that scarlet. Scarlet is red, because America's built upon blood.
That's right.
You know, the purple represents royalty, and the scarlet represents blood, man. Because truth be told, America was built upon blood. Let's start with the so-called North American Indian. How the so-called white man got America? First, he had to destroy them, or try to destroy them. He shed many of their blood. You know.
Yeah, I want to read something. This is from, I'm not going to read the whole story, but you can read it. You can go to RT, the actual website, RT.com, news. And there's a story entitled World War III will start with Pentagon bombing of RT. RT is the news company. Now, when you go into it, right? All right, it says award-winning director and musician Amir Kusturica believes that when Washington eventually starts World War III, RT, the news company, will become one of its first and primary targets, being an extremely powerful weapon challenging U.S. state propaganda. Because RT is a major news company around the world. If you was to get on a plane and take an international flight to France or whatever, you know, when you go to the airport, they'll have the different TV news stations. Well, that's the number one news station right there. RT is major. That's why CNN and other American media compete. That's why CNN has CNN International, because now news and media is international. See, back in the day, it was just national and local. Now everything is international, man. You know, you can go to cable and you go to what's this one? The Euro News. You can go to the BBC. You can go on your web. You can go to RT.
Al Jazeera.
Al Jazeera. So you can look at the major news companies in America, but then again, you can look at the other side of it. Then you have the alternate news, alternative news, which we're part of the alternate news. You know?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like you got Alex Jones, and you got these. You got AMTV, you got Salente, Dabu, 77, and you got many others, man. So if you turn on your TV and you look at the regular news, and you're saying there's something deeper to that story, you might go to the alternative media. So basically, the RT is making the U.S. look bad because you're getting the other side of the story. So what this guy is sort of making a prediction that one major target that the U.S. is going to hit is RT. All right?
And RT stands for Russia Today. So once again, that's the Russians. So what the hell is Nate talking about? Russia was part of the...
Nate,
fucking moron.
Come on. What am I going to say about
Excuse me,
Nate?
I curse.
But you know what? People like Nate. You know, people like him. That's why they flock to the clown.
Mostly women.
And you know what? And when they realize he's a phony, he's a fraud.
Right.
Then they're gonna look stupid.
Yeah.
All right, back in Revelation 17:5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And basically, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, because this place, like even now, as we speak today, they have a homosexual legislation that's being passed for faggots to get married, lesbians to get married. All they can adopt children.
Read that again.
It says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great.
Because it's a mystery. It's something that you got to break down. Like the average person couldn't open up the scriptures and read it and say, this is talking about this or this means that. It's a mystery.
That's right.
Babylon the Great. The mystery is, or the question is, who or what is Babylon the Great? Well, that's America. Do our studies.
That's right.
Go ahead.
The mother of harlots.
The mother of harlots. All right? A master whore, like a mistress. Like you can go to a whorehouse, right? And you have a mistress.
You have the madam.
That's the madam. The madam, or the mistress, the madam. She's the head harlot, and you got to go to her to get with the other lower harlots, man.
Right.
And then when she dies, the top hoe takes her place.
Right.
Okay? Cause we know about that because we've been to harlot houses, and everybody wanted to pop the mistress, right? They wanted to pop the madam. The thing was, I want to get that madam, man.
She's usually the sexiest one.
Yeah, she's usually the sexiest one, man. But she's a little up in age, but she's still fine, man.
She walks all feminine.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And it says, and abominations of the earth.
And the filth of the earth. So when you put these together, we know that it's talking about Babylon. It's not talking about the ancient Romans. It's talking about the modern day Romans. This is Rome all over again. This is a Roman Empire all over again, but under a different name. NATO, and the extension of that is the EU. Go ahead.
It says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushai. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And like Apostle Gabar said, the red represented the blood, which makes sense because they did slay all the saints here. The so-called North American Indians, which are Gad, and so-called Negroes, which is Judah and rest of the other tribes. It says, verse 7.
Oh, and you notice it says the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. There's going to be more martyrs.
Yeah.
Because in this time of trouble that America is about to enter into, we'll create martyrs. And some of you brothers out there, you may have to die for this word. You know, they might put your head in the guillotine, you know, and tell you if you don't take this chip, we're going to chop your head off. Hey, your attitude.
That's the hour of temptation.
That's the hour of temptation.
Where them guys, you know, Nate's guys and Johanna's guys, they're going to bug out. Now, I was watching one video with the GOCC, and I didn't really hear it because it was a long video, but in the comments section, there were people that were saying, wait a minute, Nate said that the mark of the beast is not as a Christianity. He's going off. So I'm pretty sure they were talking about it in the video. I'll get time. I'll look at it again. Because you guys that teach that, you got to stand up to Nate, man. You guys got to stop being fucking PC Israelites, man.
For real.
That bullshit about having a cookout. You got the GOCC. You got the ISUPK. You got all them. First of all, if that was the case and you guys could get along, why don't you just make one fucking name, man? And why don't you all teach the same thing? All you guys teach is a bunch of, that's I call that black Babylonianism, man. That's black Babylon. When the Kemetic crowd, the black conscious community get together with the different Hebrew groups, that ain't nothing but black Babylonianism, man. That's the new word. All right, I'm going to say it again so y'all can remember. Black Babylonianism. Because that picnic, that cookout that they're going to have, that ain't nothing but a black, that's black Babylonianism. And Babylon means confusion. Black confusion. All right?
Confusion.
Black Babylonian juice. It says, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns.
Say something on that. John didn't know. Yeah. Guess what? We know. Yep. John didn't know. He didn't understand what was going on. Daniel didn't know what was going on. He got sick. Yep. We know. We know all this, man. Yep. That's right. The Most High opened up our eyes in this time, man. But he gave them the prophecies. And they didn't fully understand it.
It says, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world.
You gotta go back, read it, and break it down.
Con. When they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. So it says, the beast that thou sawest was and is not. Because when John saw this particular beast dealing with America, he saw it in a vision, but it didn't actually exist at that particular time, because it wasn't until the future that it was going to come out of these nations.
Read that again. Read again.
The beast that thou sawest was and is not.
Was is the Roman Empire. Is not. He saw in the vision that the Roman Empire was going to fall by a deadly wound, and then it was going to come back again, but it wasn't going to be called the Roman Empire. It was going to be called NATO and the EU. To understand that, give me a Revelation 13. Deadly wound. Because the Roman Empire was a great power. And it fell. And the Roman Empire is back. But they're not going to say this is Rome all over again. But if you look at how America, all right, which is really the head of NATO, their law system is based on Roman law. When you go to different universities and become a doctor, you better learn Latin. All those medical terms, the human body, they're all in Latin. You have a thing called legalese, which is the language of lawyers, and most of those words, the majority of those words are Latin words, like corpus delicti. All right, that's the body of the crime. That's give me another word. Help me out. Prima facie. First on his face. Prima facie. Stare decisis, meaning decision. That means decision hasn't been overturned. Nom de guerre, name of war. Give me some more. I can't think of any. Jurisprudence. What's the other one? There's a book, Corpus Juris Secundum. Give me some more. There's a lot of terms, man. Habeas corpus is Latin for have the body. Corpus delicti, which I mentioned. All right? So when you go into science, when you deal with the planets, they're in either Greek or Latin. The same thing with medicine. The same thing with the law. Most of your, right, what do you call that? Botany, the study of plants and trees. They have their botanical names, which are all Latin. So this is Rome all over again, but they're just not telling you that it's Rome.
All right, this is Revelation 3 and 13 and 3. And I saw one of his heads as they were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
It was wounded during the time of the ancient pagan Roman Empire. It came back to life starting with America and the NATO nations. And all the world is wondering. They're wondering at this power. Because NATO is a power. It's not just America. It's led by, you normally hear about America going into the Middle East and so forth, but they're backed up by a coalition. And that's those NATO forces. Go ahead. Back to where we left off.
Back in Revelation 17 and 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Which the
bottomless pit?
The bottomless pit represents Europe, those European countries. It says, and go into perdition, meaning destruction. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder.
Can I say something? Go into perdition, meaning it once was, then it wasn't, now it's back again, and it's going to go into perdition. When it comes back as America, NATO, the EU, it's going to be destroyed. It's going to be totally destroyed. And it's talking about America because NATO is not going to be destroyed as a whole. Their power is going to be taken away, but they're still going to be around. And those nations, those European nations are going to be built up, but we're going to be running things. That's what it's talking about. And go into perdition. So what John saw in the span of the time, the ancient pagan Roman Empire, which he was in, all right, he was sentenced to the salt mines on the Isle of Patmos because they killed all the other apostles and they saved him, but that was the Most High's hand doing that. And he was up in age. He had to be, if he wasn't 100 years old, he was close to 100 years old. And he had to stay on that the Isle of Patmos. He had to mine for salt. Okay, so he saw Rome in its power, Rome going down, Rome coming back as NATO, and Rome and America and NATO being destroyed. Go ahead.
It says, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world.
And that's what we're doing now. Yep. We're wondering who are the Israelites. There's a reason why the so-called Jews over there in Israel, because they're figuring if they go over there, when the Most High come back, they're going to deliver them, because they're saying that they're Jews and they're over there in the land of Israel. That goes hand in hand with Psalms, Psalm the 2nd chapter. Why do the heathen rage? Because everybody's saying who's going to be the next great power, or who's going to be the power or the nation that God is dealing with. Like the Arab world, they think they're going to be the next great power. So they're wondering who is that elect. That's why there's a media block on the Israelites, man. We're all over the place, man. If it's not GMS, if it's the IUIC. If it's not the IUIC, it's the ISUPK. And the reason why all of us go out there and go against each other, that's that spirit of competition, man. And then they're also wondering who's written in the book of life. The IUIC really believe that they're written in the Lamb's book of life. Do you know that, man? Do you know Johanna really believes he's written in the Lamb's book of life?
Yeah. Bubble-eyes, the same thing.
Bubble-eyes, they all do, man. They all think they're the guy. They all think that that's the elect church.
Yep.
When we are the elect church.
It says, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. Which, like the apostle just broke it down, with the Rome being in power during the time of John, falling into destruction and ascending out of the bottomless pit, which is Europe, into this superpower that you have today, America included in those European nations. And yet is, because it was during that time.
Yeah, we've done lessons bringing out the similitude of Rome and America, which proves, all the more proves that, that this is really Rome. America just means bitter. In reality, this is really Rome, And then you had the Acts of the Apostles back then during the Roman Empire. Guess what? The Acts of the Apostles are going on right now, just like it did 2,000 years ago.
Just in a different part of
Just a different part of the world.
Yeah, kind of. They're just in a different part of the world. 'Cause when you here in New York City, you go down there to Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, as it's known, down there, not too far from where the World Trade Center used to be, Fulton Street, Wall Street. We used to speak down there years ago. That's you in Rome, man.
It looks like Rome.
Wall Street area, you go, and that's Rome. You feel like you done transported back into the movie Gladiator, man. Right. The court buildings and all that down there, you was in Rome, man. Roman numerals, the pillars, and all that stuff. This is Rome all over again, especially when you come here to New York City. Right. The way it's set up, man.
Yeah, let me say this here, right? If you want to get more into this, right, we did a series of, I would say, sit-downs back before we even had this background. It was called, if you put in America, Rome, and the Eagle, or America, Rome, and the Eagle in Prophecy. We did like a part 1 and a part 2, Like we did one way back in 2007 maybe, 2006. Then we did newer ones. And these were classics, man.
Yeah, we got
We've always been talking about America.
Always. Hey, shit, when I was
I got
a
to
kid.
see these again, man,
Yeah. Now, when I was a kid, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for these other apostles and elders in here, when I was in the fifth, fourth, going back to like maybe the fifth, when I was in the 5th grade, the 4th grade primarily, I've since forgot it. I wish I remembered. You don't retain everything you learned in, Esau school system. But I learned, we were learning Roman numerals, man. Primarily, I remember when I got to like the 4th and the 5th grade, the 6th grade.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
Right. 4th and 5th grade, they started teaching Roman numerals and Greek mythology, and Latin vocabulary.
And they have you.
They didn't do it in the 3rd grade.
They went to like the 4th.
Had the 4th and 5th grade.
Because around that time, I guess maybe that's when your brain is more perceptive, and then you had to do book reports on Greek mythology, on the Roman Empire. The book. You remember the book reports? You had to take. You had to take a book home, and you had to read the whole book, and then pretty much give a synopsis on the book, man. Write a report on what you read. You had to be an investigative reporter. Then you got to write, okay, what was it about? Who were the characters in the book? What happened in the book? All that shit, man. Around the 4th, 5th, 6th grade, man. Roman numerals. And I remember I learned the shit. Roman history, Greek mythology. Yep. Okay, so I knew about all that shit.
They didn't teach us about the Ming Dynasty and shit like that.
No.
They taught us about the Rome. And that shows you that this is fucking Rome, man.
Yeah.
And in the ancient world, it was known as the Greco-Roman Empire because it was the Romans that borrowed from the Greeks.
Yeah.
And you had Romans that actually spoke Greek. Did not Paul speak Greek? Huh? Yeah. Canst thou speak Greek? That's a proof.
That's right.
What was that, Acts 21 and 37?
Yeah.
He spoke Greek. When Yahushua was placed on the cross, there was it was written on the placard over him, it was written King of the Jews. It was written in Hebrew, it was written in Greek, and it was written in Latin. And it said for many of the Jews read that, because you had Israelites that spoke Greek, you had Israelites that spoke, read Latin, and you had Israelites, of course, that spoke their native tongue, which is Hebrew. All right? So let's get back into this.
Revelation 17:9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. There are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. So the 7 kings represent the Greeks, the Romans, the French, the Greeks, the Romans, the French, the Spanish, Germanium Major, Germanium Minor, and Britain. Now the 5 that were fallen were the Greeks, the Spanish, the French, Germanium Major, and Germanium Minor under their ancient names, which Germanium Major and Germanium Minor were the ancient names. And the 1 is, which was the Roman Empire, which was in power during the time of this vision. It says, and the others not yet come, which represented England, because at that time, Roman was a superpower, or the 6th head and the 7th head had not yet come. It wouldn't come to the future. It says, he must, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space, because once the British Empire was set up, it only lasted for so long until America came in there and became the superpower, and through the money and all that.
Yeah, in other words, the great empire that came after all those empires fell was Great Britain. All right, you had Rome, and then you had Great Britain. Even when you watch these ancient Roman movies, like there's one that's right here, The Eagle, right? It was a good movie about the legions that came up missing, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the 9th, what was it, the 9th, let me dishonor my legion. Yeah, because they were known as legions, right? Help me regain my family's honor. So you can buy it on YouTube. Right, okay, it says, haunted by the disappearance of his father, who vanished with the Roman 9th Legion on an expedition. And it was a good movie. I saw the movie a couple years back, but you can get it on YouTube for $2.99. But you can go to the library and borrow the CD or whatever, the DVD. But it goes into the history, man. It names and all that, man. And what brought Rome down was those legions, man. And they were, it was the Germanians, which you mentioned, Germanium Minor and Germanium Major, all right? That was taken. When they would go out into the woods and whatnot, they wouldn't come back, man. There would be what a legion is anywhere from 5 to even up to 10,000 troops, soldiers, man. And they were just wiped out, never to be seen again, man. He knows. They were fighting out there in the forest, man. Okay? So that's what that's talking about.
Your father can't
Go ahead.
be killed. You're still my slave.
It says verse 11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. So that beast that was and is not, which is the Roman Empire coming back into power through America, even he is the 8th, because America came through the 7th, which was Britain, or through the 7th, because it was birthed out of Britain. That's why the scriptures call England the mother of America in so many words. It says, and is of the 7 and goeth into perdition. Why? Because America was set up to be destroyed. You know, that's the judgment. That's why the angel at the beginning of the verse, the first verse, said that I will show you the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. All right? It says...
can I add one thing? The proof that that America goes into perdition, why? And this is Rome all over again. We mentioned that movie earlier, American Sniper, how Esau, when you watch that movie, American Sniper, you can see that them soldiers, them American soldiers of the different branches of the military, that's them Roman legions reincarnated all over again. That's them guys, man, because the Romans were doing the same thing. They had their legions all abroad in different countries doing what? Trying to conquer and take down them other countries, them other nations. So a lot of them guys that's back in the military out there fighting in Iraq, Iran, and Africa, those are the same Edomites and Israelites too. Them same Edomites and them same Israelites of the tribes back in the reincarnation 2,000 years later, doing the same thing they did back then. Those are the Roman soldiers. Those are the Roman legions. The 101st Airborne Infantry Division, Recon, Marines, and all that, the Navy SEALs. Those guys are the same guys back doing the same things all over again. Because the Romans was doing the same thing. They had their armies spread abroad, man.
Yeah, let me read this. Since you mentioned that when pagan Rome fell, ancient Rome fell, the next great power was Britannia, okay? And out of Britannia, or England, or Great Britain, or the UK, whatever you want to call it, the US, the 13 colonies stemmed from that and became America, right? Now, but ultimately, your mother is going to come against you. Hold it on deck. It's in the same chapter. Just hold on deck. Now this is Jeremiah 50:12. It says, your mother, which is talking, remember, precept upon precept. Your mother is talking about Britannia, Great Britain, because you were spawned from Great Britain. I'm talking about America. Your mother, England, shall be sore confounded. She that bare you, America, Babylon, shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nation shall be a wilderness. That's America. That all the way on the other side of the world, which is the west, is America. That wilderness shall be a wilderness, a dry land in the desert. What's going to make it a desert? That thermonuclear destruction. All right?
It says back in Revelation 17:11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth, and is of the seven, and goeth into perdition, which is destruction.
I'm sorry, brother. Let me read it again. The last part. It says, behold, it shall go into perdition, right? It says, the hindermost of the nations, which is Babylon, shall be a wilderness, a dry land in the desert. So that's what John saw, shall go into perdition. All right?
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast, because that European Union, some of those, or those are the same members as NATO, but they're going to give their whole power unto the beast, because they're in league with America, but they're going to break away from America and gather together with the rest of those European nations, which they are part of anyway, and they're going to destroy America, because they really hate this place. Only reason why they use it is for monetary gain, because America is a superpower, and their military, is spread throughout the whole world, and they have the resources to be able to give to these different nations. But eventually they're going to turn their back, as it says in the book of Obadiah, that those that are Confederate, they're going to turn around and basically bite you. They're going to fight against you. It says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And that's the same war we keep reading over and over again in different scriptures. The war in heaven, when Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels. And that war is talking about World War III.
Yeah, the origins of that goes back as far as the 40s, right? But it really came into power under a treaty. I'm talking about the EU that you're mentioning. That really came into under a treaty entitled Treaty of Rome and Growth. It says in 1957, Belgium, France, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and West Germany signed the Treaty of Rome, showing you that it's Rome all over again, man. So Rome is Rome. They're not going to put Rome on anything But when you go back to the origins, it's Rome. The agreement was under the name of Treaty of Rome and Growth. And let me read down. It says, they also signed another pact creating the European Atomic Energy Community, dealing with nuclear power, nuclear weapons, for cooperation in developing the nuclear energy. Both treaties came into force in 1958. That's when they really came into power, in 1958. All right? And I believe it was NATO that came into power. I believe it was 1959. I mean, I'm 49. 49, you're right. So you see how this is coming together? You see how the primary treaty that was used to bring these EU nations together, and NATO, because some of the NATO nations are also part of the EU nations. Like America is part of NATO, but not a part of the EU. All right? Germany is part of NATO and a part of the EU. So when you speak about NATO, you have to mention the EU, the European Union, which their money system is the euro, all right? But you see how when you go to the origins, it actually mentions Rome.
It says, Revelation 17:12, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the beast is NATO.
Yeah, so EU going to give their power to the military union force known as NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And Canada is a part of that, man. And if you notice, every last one of the NATO nations are Edomite nations. There's no African nations among that. There's no East Indian nations among that. Military powers. Japan is not a part of it. China's not a part of it. Russia's not a part of it, because that's why they established themselves against the superpower Russia.
Yep. The great red dragon. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
What do you mean by the great red dragon?
Being the European nations.
Yeah, because it sound like you saying Russia, because it's red. Yeah, don't get confused, man. The great red dragon was talking about the ancient pagan Roman Empire. All right, that beast, and that beast is back here. Okay, I just wanted to say that.
Just to make sure it's clarified. Yep. That's right. 16th verse. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
One of those 10 nations, I believe, is England, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Is England part of the EU? Okay, so that goes back to Jeremiah 50, right? About your mother shall be confounded.
Also in Obadiah, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, something like that.
Yep. That's right. That's
roughly
right.
Paraphrasing.
That's right.
So their own allies are going to turn against them. We're talking about America. America's own allies are going to turn against America and shoot missiles on this place, right along with Russia and all the other countries. That's why America is going to be a lake of fire, man. Because so many
going
missiles.
to perdition.
Yeah.
The going to perdition part is Babylon.
Yeah.
Them other European nations, the rest of NATO and the EU, they're going to get jacked up, but they're going to go into slavery. Ain't no Edomite in America going to serve slavery. They're going to be dead.
They're going to be dead.
The ones the first to serve slavery are them Europeans, man.
Yeah.
Over there in the different parts of Europe.
Yeah. So many missiles are going to hit this place. Is definitely going to turn this place into a lake of fire.
Con. And it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire.
Remember, those are European nations, not Japan, not China, not African nations, not East Indian nations, not the Arab world, but their own allies, pursuant to Obadiah.
They have the missile too. That's why they set up that other thing, the atomic treaty energy thing. You know, so they're going to burn it with fire.
Oh, well, in the
Thingamajig.
Apocrypha, it speaks about the Asian nations. It says, thou art partaker with of how's it go, of Babylonia. Some roughly paraphrasing, meaning the Chinese, they want to get down with America. The Japanese, they want to get down with America.
They're going to hate Babylon too.
Yeah, they're going to hate. Yeah.
At the end of this deal, this Curious George is going to do, or somebody's going to do, to make all these nations, these European nations, their allies, turn against them.
Yep.
Something major is going to happen, because they're sticking their nose in everything, man. So something's going to backfire. Major's going to happen to make all these European nations, all their allies, ultimately come against them. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 17, for the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And if America is not Babylon the Great, then where and who is she?
And with that, we went over like a half an hour, man. But this brother asked a question, and I can see that certain people are rusty on that breakdown. But that's all right. Because, hey, we're men, you know. So what we're going to have to start doing, and if you notice the last month and a half, we've been going into prophecies, right? And that's what time we're living in, man. We're not talking about having a cookout, man. You know? We're not talking about going to great adventures and shit. You know? We're not talking about, hanging out and, going hopping on hot air balloons and shit like that, man. We're not talking about taking the winters off. We're not talking about kayak racing and shit like that, man. We're into these scriptures, man. Okay? You're not going to see us doing catons and shit, man. You're not going to see us teaching that the mark of the beast is Christianity and an embargo. Watch some other guys. You can follow them, man. Baloo, you talking about everybody going to Nate and all that. Well, guess what? Let them go to that stumbling block, man. We're only concerned about the elect. And we're not even concerned about the elect. We're just doing our job as the Most High that's going to open the minds of the elect, man. We're just doing our work, man. If Israel be not gathered, guess what? We're still going to be justified. If you go to what is that? Ezekiel 3:17, I believe it's in. Warn them. Yep, that's right. Say something. I got one more scripture I want to bring out.
Because we're robots for the Most High. Nigga Lahab used to say that we're robots for the Most High, and he was too. He's a robot. Well, they're the Most High on the left hand side through Satan. But like Apostle Tahar said, we're robots for the Most High. That's true. Because really, the scripture says, be not concerned how the unjust shall be punished, but how the righteous shall be saved. Which, in our personal emotions, which that don't carry in anything, all we worrying about is the elect. Okay, which the Most High has already got the elect. So really, that's deep what Apostle Tahar said. We not really supposed to worry about the elect. Because the Most High already got them. That man, Yahweh Shai said, "What, I have lost none." Okay, except the son of which he was. Yeah, but you know what? Ultimately, the 2/3 gonna come back through the elect. So none is lost, really. That's why the scripture said, "All Israel shall be saved." But pretty much we're terminators for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man.
That's why we go out in the winter, man.
Yeah.
Because we're soldiers.
Yeah.
When you're in the military, right? The scripture say endure hardness as a good soldier, right? When your commander says, "Look, we're going out." Hey, what's this guy? What's his name? Hannibal.
Yeah.
Remember when they went over the Alps?
Yeah.
And the ones that made it were the strongest ones. The weaker ones died because of that cold, man. But them guys, they fought through the cold.
Yep.
So that's us, man.
Yep.
Them guys are nations. They going on picnics and shit, going to great adventures, Disney World, and that's what attracts people, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Apostle, as heavy you.
Go ahead.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Even Esau implemented that. That show you even his wickedness when he was taking us down. When he was taking down the so-called Native Americans, Custer in particular, because what they would do when they would come after the tribes. In the winter time, they had them bad winters. They was out in the frontier. They would take breaks. They would say, "Nah, we can't campaign in the winter, man. It's too tough. Our horses, our soldiers are suffer. We can't have them out in the frontier."
We got to be different.
That's right, but they would. But then,
And they are going to be casualties.
that's
man.
right. That's right.
And like Lahab, look, true. There are going to be casualties, and Lahab was one of the casualties, man.
But
you
Custer-
think if Lahab was still out here, do you think he'd be coming out in the wintertime,
he wouldn't
man?
be going out in the
I look to her. Okay, this is ridiculous right here. Okay. All right, we getting up in age. You think Yeshai gonna go out there in the
no,
wintertime
he ain't gonna be out
talking
there.
about here? I ain't never stopped teaching the truth. Well, when did I see your ass in the damn winter, man?
Yeah.
Who the hell are you kidding? Huh?
Yeah. The Most High had to free us from them guys. Because you're right. Let's just say we were still under them.
We're the guys, and they wasn't the guys.
Yeah.
They was found out that we're the guys,
Yeah.
and those guys wasn't the guys.
They
Man.
bring you to council.
All this bullshit about Tazariak talking about under the 7. What the fuck you mean about under the 7, man? Lahab is teaching Christianity. I don't know what the hell Yeshai is doing. Kazak, I don't know what the fuck he is. Come on, man.
Yeah. Hey, but the quick point I wanted to make.
Go ahead.
When this dude, General George Custer came along, he said, fuck it. He had that speech. He said, fuck it. We're going to do winter campaigns, man. And what are you doing? His superiors, he said, I don't care. He said, look, if we want to get these Indians, we got to go out there in the winter and catch them when they're vulnerable. So he went out there. They went on them winter campaigns. So they said, look, we're going to hunt them when it's warm, and we're going to go after them when it's cold, and we don't care.
Well, that's what that scripture means
Yeah.
about the sluggard, man.
Yeah.
Baloo saying different.
Yeah.
But Baloo Baloo, when you go into the spirit of the dudes that spied out the land, you had Caleb, Joshua and Caleb, right? Now they said they're ready to be taken.
Yeah.
What did the rest of them say? We can't take them. They're too powerful. And the scriptures say that Joshua and Caleb had a different spirit. See, GMS, the Great Millstone, we have a different spirit than Baloo and the ISUPK and the IUIC and the GOCC and the rest of them clowns, man. We're the real ones. Our works, our record. Check our track record, man. We go out in the wintertime, okay? Okay, I'm going to read this and we're going to close, right? We went over. It says, according to the grace of our power, which is given unto me as a wise master builder. We're all master builders in this thing, man. You think if you work for me on a construction site and you working, man, and it gets windy or cold and you sneak out for a couple of months, you think I'm going to pay you at the end of the job? I ain't going to pay you, man. I said, he gets paid. Nigga, you ain't going to get paid, man. Yeah, but I was working. I said, no, you took the winters off, man. Yeah. We got cameras all over the goddamn place. You know? Yeah. It says, I have laid the foundation and another builders thereon, right? Now, Masha, Ariyah, King Masha, High Priest Ariyah, High Priest Elder Yaquab, they laid the foundations, and they passed on pretty much, man. Ariyah's ready, he's up in age. He can't go out like he used to go out. Yeah. So we took up the slack. We're the main guys, man. Mm-hmm. We're in the forefront now, okay? It says, I have laid the foundation and another builders thereon. Now, Yahushua laid the first foundation and the apostles took over. That's why they went from being disciples to apostles, right? Mm-hmm. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereon. In other words, when you're teaching the people, you better make sure you got your materials together. See, it's dangerous when you say the mark of the beast is an embargo of Christianity. That's dangerous, man. Yeah. It says here, for other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahweh Shai, not Christ. See, if you're going around saying Christ, then you're not building the right foundation, man. That's that Christianity Israelite bullshit. 12. 1 Corinthians 3 and 12. Now, if any man build upon this foundation, remember the foundation started with Yahushua, all right? Then it goes into King Marshal, High Priest Ariah, High Priest and Elder Yaquab, all right? It says, now if any man build upon this foundation, gold, silver, precious stone, wood, hay, stubble, 13th verse, every man's work shall be made manifested, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire. That's the nuclear destruction. And the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. It says, if any man's work abide which he have built it thereon, he shall receive a reward. So we're looking to get a reward, man, because we have fruit. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. So if you build, you go out there and do the work, and you lose all your fruit, guess what? You're still going to be saved. You see? So the bottom line is about pushing this work out, man. See, them other guys, it's going to be declared by fire whether them guys are right. We're going to see how many, this big army, that clone army that they has, we're going to see how strong it's going to stand, man.
That's Senator Palpatine.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's a new name for that Senator Palpatine, man. Well, he's becoming Senator Palpatine.
Oh,
He's becoming the emperor.
Yeah, that
motherfucker look like the emperor, man.
Oh, that fire, that's the time of Jacob's trouble.
That's right.
That's the fire.
All hell breaks loose, the hour of temptation. We're going to see who's who. We're going to see who's who, okay? And with that, you got a scripture in closing? Go ahead.
Isaiah 49 and 5. And now saith the Lord that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him. Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and my power shall be my strength.
That's it, man. And with that, I'm going to say shalom. Keep watching.